every type of armed resistance against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank. Doesn't matter if it's your favorite podcasters like Wife that participate in these raids.
First off, I don't know why he mentioned Hila Klein at all. If the rules were you can't commit war crimes unless somebody else does it, then just everyone would be committing war crimes and it just wouldn't even matter, right? Even if you want to say that your statements are being misinterpreted, you have to understand where people are coming from, right? You're being obtuse, if anything. The idea that like you're being stalked by Destiny in his community because they on you is retarded. Does that mean now that we can do Hasan memes? Do we want some Hasan memes or no? I want Hasan memes. I am going to play this clip of Hasan in its entirety. No context missing. We're gonna play the whole thing and we're gonna see what this is all about, okay?
But it shows the thinking.
Like any kind of violence that Israeli settlers or the Israeli military experiences in the West Bank is literally legal, okay? It is legal resistance against an occupying military force. I cannot repeat this enough. Just like any kind of violence that the Israeli occupying force experiences in the Gaza Strip is actually, once again, totally legal and totally moral resistance by the Palestinians. Doesn't matter if they're the Al-Aqsa Brigade. Doesn't matter if they're a part of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Doesn't matter if they're DFLP, PFLP, or even former Fatah militants. Okay? It is perfectly legal, perfectly valid, and perfectly moral. Okay? This is not a gray area. This is black and white. Okay? It doesn't get more black and white than this. Israel is in the wrong. Israel is actually engaging in an apartheid, which is a crime in and of itself. Israel's doing a genocide in Gaza and an apartheid in the West Bank. Two crimes in and of itself. And every type of armed resistance against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank. Doesn't matter if it's your favorite podcasters like Wife that participate in these raids. The violence that the Palestinians engage in an act of resistance against this illegal occupying force is literally legal, definitionally legal. Okay? It's just the truth. Straight up. It doesn't matter that they look to be in garb that makes you think that they're in the right. Okay?
So, a lot to unpack there. I found, first off, I don't know why he mentioned Hila Klein at all. Hila Klein did serve in the IDF as like a secretary or something, but him just like randomly bringing up Hila Klein, it reminds me of that Sam Hyde Lena Dunham video, where he's like, if you come near me and I have to defend myself, I'll kill you. Like it's kind of like the same vibe as that. This video right here.
For the sake of argument, if you come at me in a public situation, if I had to defend myself outside your apartment, I'm watching you through your window, and I have to shoot through a crowd of people to defend myself. It's 2 a.m. It's a self-defense situation. I'm not going to be happy about the devastation, but I will be happy that I've defended my own life. I'll protect my own life if that's what it takes to protect myself. I didn't want it to be like this. It's a tragedy. Oh, God.
It's basically like that. It's the same thing. Where imagine if I'm just like saying like, you know, if somebody breaks into my house, even if it's Hasan Piker, you know, regardless of who it is, Hasan Piker or not, I'd shoot him in the head because they're breaking into my house and I have the right to do so in Texas. That's my right. And whether it's some random person or Hasan Piker, I'll shoot him in the head. Like that would be, you'd be like, what the f-? Like, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy, right? Like you are, for some reason, evoking the name of Hasan Piker when talking about self-defense. Why are you doing that? It's the same thing where you're talking about justifiable reasons to retaliate during war. And then you're like, even if it's Hila Klein from the H3 podcast, right? Like, it's crazy. So yeah, obviously, Hila Klein or Hila Klein or whatever, however you pronounce her name, she was in the IDF, and there's actually I have a video here of her talking about her service in the IDF and what she did. Basically, she was just like a secretary.
Family served in the military, right? Mm-hmm. How was your experience in the military?
It was okay. I didn't do
Not very enthusiastic. She doesn't seem to be too like patriotic in terms of, yeah, I love the IDF. I had so much pride serving the IDF. If anything, she makes it very clear that she just like didn't really like it and didn't want to do it at all.
Like, I wasn't like a combative role.
Yeah, you weren't a fighter.
I wasn't a fighter, so I didn't have anything like crazy to tell. But I don't know. It's kind of like a mandatory job that you have to go to.
And you don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
Someone said, is it like a forced vacation?
No. It's more like a forced job.
Forced job. Because what did you do? What was your role in the military?
At first, I was given a role that was like in an office somewhat close to my house in Tel Aviv. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like going to a day job in an office.
Just a day job in an office. You know, she was not like a combative. She wasn't like an active combatant, like with like, you know, killing people, shooting people, or like whatever. Like she was not. She was just doing like a lot of back end, like secretary work, office desk work, stuff like that.
Right after there was some kind of a second war in, where was it, in Gaza?
I remember that, yeah.
There was some sort of a small war.
Yeah.
When I was there, and so my job was to like, when they send officers or like...
This is basically like the main argument, by the way, is that while she was there, there's like some kind of war going on, and she like some kind of combat thing, and she was just like on a raid as she was just like as a ride along, and she like... You'll see, but it's pretty ridiculous.
People.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the whole story where apparently this is the raid that Hila Klein went on while she was serving in the IDF as a secretary.
But for some reason it was more interesting. I enjoyed it more.
You told me once you went on like a mission with them to like a terrorist city.
Yeah.
That was kind of a crazy story.
Yeah. My officers and like the soldiers in that brigade, they would go every night on a raid.
Right.
In Ramallah to arrest terrorists. And so I always saw them preparing for it and leaving, and then I would stay in the base. So one time I wanted to go with them just to experience it.
Why? You just were all of a sudden had an urge to go with them?
I just wanted to see what it's like.
Right.
I wanted to see it.
Okay.
So they took me with them one night, even though they weren't supposed to.
Did they armor your ass up?
You're driving in this like Jeep that's bulletproof.
Right.
So I was in the Jeep, and then as soon as we entered Ramallah, the people in the city started shooting us.
Wow.
And I heard like a bullet hit the Jeep like right next to my head.
Wow. This is, by the way, Hasan will describe this as like an illegal raid where all they're doing is going in and arresting terrorists. And they were clearly engaged with first, according to the story that she offered to tell, by the way. Like, she never had to tell the story, and you would have be none the wiser to know that she was ever in a raid. But was attacked by terrorists.
Dent? Or just
you just hear it.
It's a gnarly armored Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I mean, it was just interesting.
They were so someone actually was shooting the car when you went in there right away.
Yeah.
Huh. Did you have a gun on you?
I didn't.
You were not supposed to leave.
No, yeah, not really. But even if I would...
So she would not even qualify in the situation to be like a combatant, like an enemy combatant. Like if you killed her on this raid, it would be a war crime, just to be clear. And that will be important in a second.
I mean, I walked with them to one house.
Okay.
I did get out of the car once, but surrounded with them. So.
Okay. Did they arrest anyone that night?
They did.
Did they bring it in the same car with you?
No.
Oh,
There's a few cars going.
Damn, that's crazy. Was it like, how did you feel? Was it horrifying?
It was strange. Very, very weird.
How so?
I don't know. Just you see people in the house, and then it's like the soldiers just walk into the house and look through their and find guns, and the whole thing is really surreal.
Yeah, it does not seem like she's particularly like fond of the experience, or like gives like a raving review of the IDF. How the IDF is so great and all this stuff. Like it's really just like she went on one, ride along situation where she was not like a combatant by any means, was not going there to kill anybody, was actively shot at, and was just going around to arrest terrorists. So that's it already. The rewriting of like her service in the IDF and her raids or whatever is already like just super not true, but something that Hasan says in this
is
second
not
clip here.
occupy-
I'll just read the quote. Every type of armed resistance against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank is literally legal, definitionally legal. So think about that for a second. Every type of armed resistance against both of these settlers, and he includes Hila Klein in this, by the way. Armed resistance against the settlers and the Israeli occupying force. Now, you could say the settlers in the West Bank are different than the people in Israel entirely, like all of Israel, right? But at the end of the day, if you were to ask any of these people, like, are all Israeli settlers? I feel like all of them would say yes. That's what River to the Sea is, right? Like, all Israelis are settlers. This was the justification for October 7th. Like, they're all settlers. Hasan said the thing about the settler babies and stuff like that. Like, all of the Israelis are on stolen land, and as a result, they are all like colonial settlers. And much like that, every type of armed resistance against the settlers is legal. And also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank is legal. And he says literally legal, definitionally legal. Rule 89, violence to life. Murder is prohibited. And this is specifically in relation to, not just civilians, obviously, but also there's like tons of different qualifications for like even military personnel. Like if you're a secretary or you are even if you are like you're a medic or something, like there's a lot of people in the military, like the enemy military, that you can't just kill, right? And what he's specifically saying is that if you are armed resistance, whether you're a settler or you're an Israeli occupying force, you can do whatever you want to them, which also just isn't true, because because let's say hypothetically, well, not even say hypothetically, I'll grant it to you that there's an apartheid state in the West Bank, there's a genocide going on in Gaza, both of those are war crimes. Sure, like I'll grant that to you. You are not allowed to commit war crimes against people because they commit war crimes. Because at that point, like, war crimes wouldn't even matter. Like, the Geneva Convention, none of this shit would matter. Like, in terms of, like, violating war, like, international law in regards to war crimes, like, that it just wouldn't matter, because everyone just have to immediately break the rules. If the rules were you can't commit war crimes unless somebody else does it, then just everyone would be committing war crimes, and it just wouldn't even matter, right? It's very interesting that he says this, but he got a lot of for this, of course, because at the end of the day, like I said, why are you bringing up Hila in that? It feels like kind of like a dog whistle almost. Like all it takes is one person to hear what you're saying and do some unhinged, right? And there was a lot of reactions to this. We have Destiny reacts to this thing that he just said. This is Destiny's reaction right here. And we had a lot of different reactions from a lot of different people.
And if we're going to bring race to this all the time, then I think maybe we need to take a good look at this. Hasan is from Turkey. Turkey is an ethno-state. Turkey was explicitly created in an ethno-state. The fall of the Ottoman Empire after 1917, when they began to genocide all of the Armenians and when they ethnically cleansed all the Greeks away, they did that with the explicit goal of creating their new ethno-state after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, because they wanted their own country with their own ethnic group. And today they continue to engage in that sort of genocidal ethnic cleansing in intent against the Kurdish people in the southeast of the country. So I think the fact that you have
I don't even know anything about this. Maybe this is true. I'd be curious to look into that, because actually learning about that stuff would be fun to use against Hasan. Because it's not like he's if what everything Destiny's saying is true, which maybe he's just totally lying. It would be interesting that Hasan seems to rarely ever talk about that.
Guy that comes from Turkey, which is a genocidal colonial state. They are currently engaged in that type of action. In the island of Cyprus, to the south of Turkey, they're currently engaged in genocidal actions against the Kurds. Remember how they said, when we abandoned the Kurds under Trump, we didn't abandon the Kurds to Assad. We didn't abandon the Kurds to ISIS. We abandoned the Kurds to Turkey to kill. Okay, and then it was like a million or more Greek citizens were ethnic cleansed, were moved from Turkey because they don't want to deal with any of them. So I don't know, a guy that's coming from Turkey, whose uncle founded a network called the Young Turks, which was the name of the group that was largely responsible for the Armenian genocide, is really weird to me. I don't know what kind of ethnic ground he can stand on to attack all Israelis or all Jewish people, mentioning the Hila Klein, who is an American citizen living in the United States of America, and then not have to address or reconcile with the genocidal history of his bloodline and his the country that his parents come from, which when I believe his dad is like a founding member of some far right political party. I think, I don't know as much about that. But like, that's crazy to me. And maybe it does need to be addressed more, that if we're going to bring up like the ethno-bend or the ethno-religious or the ethno-nationalist tendencies of Israel, maybe more attention needs to be paid from where people like Hasan come from and what his ideology is. Because I've never heard him say shit about what Turkey has done in the past or what Turkey is currently doing right now. So I don't know.
I want to, in spite of Hasan, I want to look into that a little bit. I should do that. Just in spite of Hasan, so I could bring it up. That would be awesome. But Destiny also said some pretty unhinged on his DGG chat. Does anyone have a link to this video directly? I honestly think you could perfectly justify attacking / killing Hasan IRL for statements like this. This is just so far beyond the pale. It's actually unbelievable. Even the weren't this blatant. Actually, which is, I agree with that. I don't know. Could you justify killing Hasan for this? Like, if he's like being unhinged and he's calling for personal attacks, I don't know if you could justify killing. Maybe you could justify arresting him, maybe, but killing him is kind of crazy. Yeah, and Hasan responded to Destiny, what Destiny said, and he acts like a crybaby, but yeah.
Well, I don't know if you noticed this, but the terminally online gossip slop entertainment is being used as a vehicle to try to deplatform me for doing exactly that. And not only that, but also it has led to people issuing active death threats to their community.
Oh my God. It's so performative. Like, the whole death threats thing is so gay and performative. This is like something every creator always does. Whenever they get any amount of shit, they always just appeal to like the very few amount of people doing the death threat. It's so dumb. Like, it's so stupid. Like, by the way, you actively were justifying the murder of every Israeli when you said this. Every type of armed resistance against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank is literally legal, definitionally legal, which is a lie, is not true, but you're justifying the murder of every single Israeli because Hasan absolutely believes that whether they're in the West Bank or in Gaza, or in Tel Aviv, or anywhere in Israel, any Israeli there is a settler. He obviously believes that. So it's like the idea that you're going to call for the death of every single Israeli. Meanwhile, you're going to cry because one person says that you should be killed. It's just so cringe, especially when you evoke the name of one of your mortal enemies, right? And the wife of your mortal enemy too, and you give her as an example of somebody you could justifiably kill. Whether or not that's a current example or a previous example, it's extremely weird. And the idea that you would act like you didn't do anything wrong is crazy.
He's against me. So I think it's a little...
Whether it was a valid target, could be a valid target, or here's a context here, or here's an imaginary scenario. Like I said, once again, it's the Sam Hyde, Lena Dunham thing. Like why would you, like, and obviously that was a joke, but with Hasan, it's like, why are you, like, obviously the implication is like, you're bringing this person up specifically because you are offering the idea of them being killed. Whether or not you're directly calling for their murder, I can't really say, but it's very strange to do that, to bring up their name in that context for some reason. It's just very weird, and it's strange that you can't accept that.
A little bit different than just like immature online gossip slop. At what point does it turn into like a real crime? I think this is the point where it has turned into a real crime.
Looks like he's gonna cry. He can't reap what he sows at all. It's so cringe.
But will you consider it to be something beyond online gossip slop when I either get deplatformed or when I get killed, potentially?
Jesus Christ. It's retarded, dude.
By a psychotic cult fan.
Psychotic cult fan. By that same logic, what you said about Hila, all it takes is one psychotic cult fan from your audience to misinterpret what you're saying, and go kill Hila, right? Would that same logic not apply? That if you are, even if you want to say that Destiny's is more egregious, which to be fair, Destiny is pretty on the nose with what he says about you justifiably could be killed. Regardless, you are actively talking about the context in which it's acceptable to kill somebody, and you're bringing up Hila Klein's name, whether it is current, because some people disagree with you, Hasan. Some people would disagree that it's not about current or former. Some people would just say anyone who's ever been a part of the IDF, anyone who's Israeli would deserve that, right? And regardless of what you're saying, you're kind of enabling that delusional belief, are you not?
I mean, that's a death threat. If I can't be upset about an active death threat, what can I be upset about? If an active death threat.
It's just, you could be upset, but like you're totally reaping what you sow. Like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. You can be upset if you want, but you look like a pussy, especially when you feel so comfortable and so emboldened to talk about who is acceptable to kill. And then when somebody says, I think you're acceptable to kill, all of a sudden you're like, this is kind of up. The Young Turks is the name of the Turkish nationalist movement during the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire in the 1910s that were responsible for the genocide of 1.5. Yeah, I've heard of that. Also, isn't it? It's funny too because I'm pretty sure Anna is Armenian, isn't she? Because her last name is like Anna Kasparian, right? Because I'm pretty sure she's an Armenian, which is the funniest part about it. Personal life. I'm pretty sure she's Armenian based on her last name. Is the daughter of Armenian immigrant parents. That's crazy. Her paternal great-grandparents experienced the Armenian genocide firsthand in 1915. Wow. And she was a part of the Young Turks. Jesus Christ. It's crazy. I used to watch the Young Turks when I was first getting into politics and stuff when I was a kid. I did used to watch them a lot.
Is considered gossip slop online.
Gossip slop online. Like, he's such a pussy. Oh my god. We got that. Oh yeah, also Hila responded, and there's something here with, it seems like Hasan does focus a lot more on Hila than he does on Ethan sometimes. Like, and especially because Hila doesn't, at least in the sense that Hila has not much to do with this. Like, she hasn't really done much in comparison to what Ethan has done in response to Hasan, right? But yet Hila gets a lot of from Hasan on this. Hila Klein responds to Hasan calling her a valid military target. Hasan Piker, who was exposed by my husband to be a disgusting creep, has retaliated by calling for violence against me. Think back and you'll notice a trend. When he wants to get at Ethan, he attacks me. This is just another glimpse into the psyche of a man that does not see women as his equal. He uses women to whatever end he needs, be it revenge, sexual gratification, or to massage his ego by exposing their nude bodies without their consent to his boys. This is another thing too. Apparently, this is a thing that apparently he's done. Where he is like showed off nudes. I don't know too much about this. Maybe there's a good thread on this.
A nude? So was it? Was the score like 1, 2, 3, 4 against 1, 2, 3?
Now, is this a cute accident? This is the 4th time. On camera. Just on camera. Do you think he's respecting the privacy of these people sending his nudes? Clearly not. He's waving it around for just anyone next to him to look at. And be like, bro, your phone's full of nudes, dude. That's sick.
Is that a nude? So was it? Was the score like 1, 2, 3, 4 against 1, 2, 3? His face, it was the nude. Big knockers? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
It's just gross.
Why is it so, like, if you're just on your...
And apparently, yeah, I guess from what I've heard, he has done this a few times. Regardless, there's something that I felt about Hasan for a while, and it is reflected. And it is reflected here, right? Where Hasan does not view women as equal. He's actually a raging misogynist, and it's very, very clear. Think about it like this. He has sex with prostitutes in German brothels with women that are ambiguously aged. You know, there was a whole thing where, you know, there might have been some minors at the brothel he went to. Who cares? You know, that's not a big deal or whatever, right? Obviously. But the main issue that I have is he's like basically paying women to rape them, right? Like that's how I view prostitution and hookers, is that you are paying a woman to have sex with you. If I say to a woman, hey, I'll give you $100 to have sex with me, and she says, okay, and then I have sex with her and she's like, where's my $100? And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to give that to you. Well, that would be rape. But then I'm like, I'm just kidding. I have $100 here. And she's like, oh, thanks. Then it wouldn't be rape. So the difference there is paying. I'm basically paying for your consent. In my opinion, you're just basically a rape. You're paying to rape somebody and get away with it, right? So there's that. But there's also like, in general, like he is just like this hedonistic. He is not interested in like any kind of like actual building a relationship with a woman or anything. He just wants to fuck prostitutes. He just wants to fuck prostitutes and he wants to fuck porn stars because he doesn't view women as like people that he can build something with. He just views women as like, oh yeah, I can come inside of this thing, right? And more specifically, I mean, look at the way that he treats Hila Klein, where he is using her to attack Ethan, despite the fact that she doesn't really do that much to him. He hasn't said, like, Ethan is the one that's like schizo posting about him all the time on his Instagram story, which even I would say, like, sometimes he's going pretty far with all that stuff. Yeah, he's done it to journalists. Yeah, I saw that he like showed it to a journalist or something too. While he was like, he opened up his Snapchat and just showed nudes that he had gotten or whatever. But regardless, I think he hates women. He genuinely just hates women. It's like very clear to me that he hates women. He doesn't view women as like equals. He doesn't view women as humans. He just like kind of has sex with, he pays if you pay to rape women in brothels, in my opinion, you just don't care about women at all, which is fine and based. Okay. But, I feel like it's just kind of sad that he would try to act like he is a progressive individual that cares about, the socially downtrodden and yet clearly gives no actual about women at all, and clearly is misogynistic with the way that he is like blatantly attacking Hila Klein when she doesn't really do anything to him as like a proxy for attacking Ethan. It's gross. It's disgusting. And then, here we go. Even worse is, even more exemplified by this is Hasan's response to Hila's post.
Hasan Piker was exposed by my husband to be a disgusting creep, is retaliated by calling for violence against me. Think back and you'll notice a trend. When he wants to get at Ethan, he attacks me. This is just another glimpse into the psyche of a man who does not see women as equal. Okay, dude. This is literally girl bossing genocide defense.
Where is she defending genocide here? These people, I hate that the rewriting of this, where they're like, they are like overall pro-Palestinian. Like, I don't get what the like you're talking about when you're saying like this has nothing to do with genocide, when they have been openly pro-Palestinian and then they say nothing in regards to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict at all, and you just say this is girl bossing genocide. Also, the term girl bossing in that sense, like he's directly focusing on her femininity. Like, it's so obvious he just hates women.
Hasan Piker was,
and think about all the like harassment that Hila has gotten, like just for being in the IDF. Where it's like, oh, because she didn't want to go to jail and she just decided to go do secretary work for a couple of years. Like, she's like this evil person and people are like fantasizing about killing her. And it's like disgusting. And then we also had Asmongold, who is currently the biggest political streamer on the internet. Unfortunately, it's very sad to say that, but it is the truth. This is what he had to say about it.
Your favorite podcasters like wife that participate in these raids, the violence that the Palestinians engage in an act of resistance against this illegal occupying force is literally legal, definitionally legal. Okay? It's just the truth. And
no, it's not. If somebody attacks Hila Klein, they're gonna go to jail. Why is he telling people this?
He dated Janice Griffiths. Hasan is winning at life, except he called the cops on her. El Hasan. Yeah, there's this. Hi, please don't mention Hasan Piker to me. It's really hard for me emotionally because he called the cops wellness check on me when we were dating, plus has avoided my attempts to privately talk about it. I'm not a fan of doing this publicly, but we share a lot of our audience. I didn't need the wellness check, by the way, and I can't escape him online because of the nature of the leftist internet. I'm not trying to cancel him. Just please leave me out of it. In 2020, Hasan allegedly called the police on his ex-girlfriend Janice Griffith for ignoring him. See above. For any other streamer, this would be an instant blow to their image, but I feel that Hasan's ACAB male feminist persona protected him. Yeah, I know. This is so dumb. This is why I hate the ACAB, because it's just like, when push comes to shove, you're going to call the police when you really need to. I don't care how much you hate the police. You're going to call the police. Okay. I'm sorry. You are. Like, and he's going to do the same, of course. Like, he's going to call the police. Despite how dangerous that could be, right? These untrained, these undertrained police officers that have the propensity to just kill innocent people for no reason at all because their egos get in the way and they can't emotionally regulate themselves and they don't know what they're doing with their gun and all this stuff, and you're just, you know, calling them over and sending them to your ex-girlfriend's house because she's not responding to you. He knew he was putting her in danger by calling the cops on her. He just didn't care and told his audience to drop it.
Genuine question: why did you choose to call the cops instead of another type of wellness check service as a safer alternative? I did not know. At the time, I did not know. That's it. It's as simple as that. I mean, I did know that there were risks involved with it, but
But I wonder what he said after that. Hasan has a long history of misogyny. Oh, I didn't even talk about bro talk, by the way. What is that? What it's called? Bro time or something like that.
Didn't see you there. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is Bro Tip. This week's Bro Tip is about bringing out the alpha male in you. A few things to consider when you're thinking about Lady Gaga as the top contender for Babe of the Week should be the fact that she might have a penis. The fact that Lady Gaga might have a small penis does absolutely terrify me. Here's why the 5-second rule works. Because when you start thinking for longer than 5 seconds, you're immediately not thinking with your dick and also thinking with this pesky thing up here that we like to call our brains. So once you start thinking with your brain, you're immediately going to psych yourself out. Come back again next week when we discuss the legendary question of all time. Old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark?
Wow, awesome. And look, I have no problem with making like misogynistic jokes or whatever, but his entire show was just being misogynistic. And especially knowing his propensity to have casual sex and pay hookers to consensually have sex with them, not a good look. The controversy first came up in 2021 when Hasan posted videos of himself at a strip club. And he spoke about his brothel experience as pro-sex work. God, it's so disgusting. Being pro-sex work is like, it's just like, yeah, you want to be like, I don't even know how to put this, basically. Like, the idea of like pro-sex work is just so stupid to me. Like, why would you want women to do sex work? Why would you want that? Why would you want women to have sex with strange men? Why would you want women to like monetize their bodies? Like, why would you want that? I mean, I'm okay with it happening, I guess. Maybe not so much the hooker stuff. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's a different conversation. But specifically with like OnlyFans and stuff, like, I guess I'm not opposed to porn existing, but like, why would you be pro like sex work? It's stupid to me. It just feels like gross. And it's not very empowering, right? He has explained previously that it was only rated for tax evasion. In reality, in reality, the raid was an Al Capone-style sting investigating sex trafficking. The brothel had alleged connections to organized crime and was named in successful case convicting another child sex trafficker. However, eventually it was cleared on all tax evasion charges. Hell yeah. Still, this kind of looks bad. Hasan agrees. It's why he still constantly downplays it. We've heard it's better for rich women to be raped than poor women. Oh, yeah, this is crazy, dude. Oh, where is it? Yeah, he basically said, like, it's objectively better when rich fail sons are raping rich daughters as opposed to impoverished daughters. Or it's, like, slightly better or whatever from a utilitarian standpoint or something like that. Yeah. Oh, okay, we got completely sidetracked. But, yeah, here's the Asmongold statement.
Why would he be set? What is wrong with you? Do you think he'll get banned for this?
He'll not get banned. Hasan will never get banned for anything. I don't know what it would take to get Hasan banned on Twitch. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't even necessarily want him to get banned. I just like, I would like it if the rules were upheld and he was held to the same standard that everyone else is. That's it. That's all I care about. I just want Hasan to be treated just like anyone else on that platform. That's it.
I don't think so. I think that Twitch just doesn't care. I do. I think that Twitch is...
Imagine agreeing with Asmongold. Hasan is that bad. Yeah, I know. I do not take pleasure in even slightly aligning myself with Asmongold, but yeah, in a situation like this, it's pretty clear because Hasan is unhinged about the Palestine stuff completely.
They're so ideologically captured by, like, I don't know what to do. I don't. He wants in on the lawsuit? I guess so. I mean, like, he's making a direct call for violence. A direct and immediate call for violence against people that are American citizens.
Yeah, but even if you want to say that he's not making a direct, immediate threat to Hila Klein, he is making a direct call for the slaughter of every Israeli, basically. Once again, every type of armed resistance against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank is literally legal, definitionally legal. He is justifying all violence against them. Because if you are a settler, which would be every Israeli by his definition, or any of the occupying force, there is, apparently you can commit war crimes against them. Even though you can't, he's not only is he lying, he is justifying the violence against every Israeli. And the fact that, the second point, bringing up Hila for what reason? Once again, it's like the Lena Dunham, like, if I'm outside of your apartment and I have to defend myself against you, I'll kill you. Like, it's like, you know what you're doing, right? Like,
that's insane. Oh my God. Yeah, now you come to that conclusion. Well, I mean, no, I've said that before. I mean, I have. And so, yeah, make a post like with Alpha Mike. Let's share it. Yeah, I think that's something Ethan should report to the FBI. Honestly, yeah. Like, I'm going to be real. Like, I think that, like, I mean, at this point, like, you have... Like, it's domestic terror. Yeah, I mean, report what? Report that you have a person that's on a platform that's making an open call for violence and insinuating that one
Hasan or Asmongold for president, yes or no? Yes or no? Oh yeah. I get that because it's the Kana boy. That was triggering the fuck out of me because, like, the whole argument between, like, Hasan is closer ideologically to a liberal than, like, Donald Trump is, it's just, like, not true, because Donald Trump has some fashy tendencies for sure, but Hasan advocates for essentially the complete destruction of America, which at the very least, I trust Trump to some degree not allow that to happen, but it is directly a part of Hasan's ideology. He wishes to destroy our capitalist system. He hates America. His entire foreign policy, I wonder if I can find this clip. His entire take on, like, every foreign policy thing is America bad, and anyone who is aligned with America is bad. Hasan, geopolitical take. There is a clip where he says basically as much.
Two principles. Let me explain to you. Two principles that you should keep with you, coming from a person who's Turkish, okay? When you look at a situation in the Middle East, you look at what the local government is and who the Western forces are. Never align with the Western forces. So when I look at other countries, I look at the regional actor, whoever the regional power player is, and then I look at who is backed by the Western superpowers. That's a principle that you could take home with you. If you want to actually be moral, or if you want to be smart about the way you analyze other countries, that's one basic principle that you can take home with you. All of a sudden, magically, you are above on your foreign policy analysis. You're going to be better off than 90% of people that look at the situation.
But yeah, he objectively just thinks that, America bad. He hates America. He's an un-American. And Donald Trump doesn't really have much respect for America, and I think he's an un-American. But at the very least, when push comes to shove, I would trust that we can, I think we could make it out of Trump's remaining 3.5 years. I don't think we could make it out of whatever the Hasan would do as president.
Specific person should be a victim to that.
That's crazy.
So this is like, now he's starting to, like, once he's getting all this pushback, because he's a total pussy. Once he starts getting all this pushback, that's when he starts changing his tone a lot.
That's crazy. It is what it is, I guess. The resistance against this illegal occupying force is literally legal, definitionally legal. Okay? It's just the truth. And
no, it's not. If somebody attacks Hila Klein, they're gonna go to jail.
yeah, no, you moron. I'm talking about in her participation in an illegal raid in the West Bank.
It was not an illegal raid by any means. I don't see any proof of that. But even what he's talking about, even if you want to say that the point that Asman is making here about Hila or is like bad faith, the original point on its face is also just wrong. You're not allowed to kill anyone you want, like settlers, like legally. That's not like a thing that anyone would say. You're not allowed to commit war crimes against people who are war criming you. That's just objectively, it contradicts reality. I don't know what to tell you. It's just wrong.
Oh God, no, it's not. Yeah, of course, if someone were to attack Hila Klein right now, of course they should go to jail.
It's like, it's crazy because once again, using like the Lena Dunham thing, if I said, once again, Sam Hyde was obviously joking. It was like a joke, right? And he's like, does like the whole meta post irony comedy thing, right? But if I were to say, oh man, if Hasan Piker, like if I just for no reason was randomly like, if anyone's trying to attack you ever on the street or whatever, like if Hasan Piker attacks you, you are legally allowed to, kill him if you want. If to defend yourself, you are totally permitted to kill Hasan Piker if you ever feel like you are being threatened by him. And then people are like, dude, what the f-? Sounds like you're kind of calling for people to kill Hasan Piker. You're like, I'm just saying in the context of him attacking me, I would be allowed to kill him. And then the question is like, why are you evoking the name of Hasan Piker in that? If you want to make a point about self-defense, that's one thing, but you're evoking the name of somebody for some reason? Why? I don't know. It's weird. And then obviously it would be irresponsible if I had a very large platform, which I don't follow on Kick, by the way. If I had a large platform and I did that, that would be gravely irresponsible, because something I've learned as my time as a creator with a few channels that have done decently well is that there's a of insane people on the internet that will do insane, unhinged, both to me or to people I talk about. And you have to be relatively careful. You can't just say like that, especially with Hasan. And think about the that's happened with like the violence toward, like there was like that fucking, like those two Israelis got killed in America, right? Two Israelis killed, two Israeli embassy staffers killed in act of terror in Washington, D.C. Like, just for being Israeli and just for being at the embassy, they were killed. These people were killed. This is unhinged. This is crazy. And it could happen again. There's easily one person in your audience that is insane enough to do that. Right? You have to be careful,
what kind of idiocy is this?
And then the gaslighting is crazy.
Oh my God.
Why is he telling people this? Why would he be what is wrong with you? Do you think he'll get banned for this? At this point, I don't think so. I think that Twitch just doesn't care. I do. I think that Twitch they're so ideologically captured by...
Yeah, Twitch is so woke. That's why they never ban your ass, dude.
They did ban... Didn't Asmongold get banned for a week? Asmongold, popular Twitch streamer, was recently suspended from the platform. He was banned following comments made during a stream where he described Palestinians as an inferior culture and made other remarks about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Wow. Yeah, you're a idiot. When you get banned on your days off for one day. For one day, you get banned. And it was always like your day off.
I don't know if they're actually intentionally obtuse or they're this stupid.
The gaslighting is crazy. The gaslighting is crazy, dude. Like, even if you want to say that your statements are being misinterpreted, you have to understand where people are coming from, right? You're being obtuse, if anything.
Hasan, he's not misreading you by mistake. He's moving the conversation to something that makes you look bad. Yeah, of course.
What?
I know. I understand. I mean, or maybe he's that stupid. I don't know. He's definitely that stupid.
So, yeah, like I said, like, my main issues with this, you bring up Hila for no reason. You're making these false appeals to the law, which just don't make sense. And then, like, you, like, try to backtrack and justify and say, like, oh, no, well, I'm talking about if, you know, Hila was currently actively raiding people or whatever, then it's, like, illegal, and that, like, then you're allowed to kill them, right? Like, that's an illegal raid, you're allowed to kill them. But otherwise, like, it's just so stupid. Like, once again, if Hasan Piker was shooting up a school, you would be legally and ethically in the right to kill him. Why the, like, okay, yeah, okay, why Hasan Piker? It's just so stupid, right? Now, you know, he's obviously backtracking and all this shit. And now he's trying to shift the goalpost. And the recent updates are that he is trying to get Destiny deplatformed on YouTube. How much longer will YouTube allow this dude to stream? Spent years stalking me with his community. I can't, like, stalking you. Like, what do you mean by, like, reacting to public streams and clips that you consensually put on the internet? It's crazy how much Hasan Piker... There was, this actually is a totally separate thing. But, this isn't even just a Hasan issue. This is like, for some reason, a lot of these Twitch streamers are really insecure. It's crazy. I was already talking about how, obviously, I have this channel where I post clips. I have, you know, it's called FXK TV. By the way, anyone in chat right now, if you're not following FXK TV, if you're not subscribed on YouTube, go over to FXK TV and hit the subscribe button. But you know, I have I've been getting I had a video go really viral or whatever, or not really viral for my channel. I had a few videos here get a decent amount of views for the size of the channel. It's a relatively new channel, 900, 500. But yeah, as you can see here, they're getting like heavily dislike bombed, especially this one, the Charlie Kirk one. And people are just on me, and it's just like, you get used to it. You just don't, you can only care so much when people are like mad at you for this, right? But it's crazy because a lot of these creators who have been doing content creation, I've only been doing it for like 3 years. These people who have been doing content creation for like 10 years are like so concerned about what people think about them, and is like this is like Hasan is always crying about like LSF, and he's like begging LSF to take down posts. He's like talking about like, I don't want to deal with like people on Reddit crying about me or whatever. And recently I just saw this tweet by Cutie Cinderella. Struggling in group settings. Streamers get my jokes, but their audiences do not understand my sense of humor. If I'm not making jokes, I sadly don't have to say, but then I feel bad seeing feedback where people think I'm whack. Gotta workshop that, but I do feel. Not to be dramatic, but it makes me want to collab less. I do collabs for fun, not to grow and cross-pollinate. I'm happy with my numbers and who watches me, but so bummed when it's just hate or stuff taken out of context. I don't know, I'm getting too soft for this shit. Like, you are rich. You have 600,000 followers on Twitter. If I go to your Twitch right now, I will probably be blown away by the amount of followers you have. 1.2 million. And it's like, how are you so insecure about what people think? It's crazy. It's her, it's Hasan. It seems like it's all of these really big creators learning, like, that still haven't learned this lesson that I learned a while ago. Because when I first started doing YouTube and stuff, I really could not handle getting criticism. I was a freak about that. I could not handle it at all, dude. It drove me crazy. It drove me crazy. And it was so hard to not engage with it, but very quickly I learned there's just no point in engaging with this. I don't know why the Hasan constantly makes it apparent that like all of the criticism he gets online bothers him, right? Or any streamer for that matter should really just not make a big deal about it. Because who cares? Why would anyone care what people on Reddit have to say? Or schizos in my comment section that are mad at me because I get like the nose ring comments and stuff. People are like, oh, you nose ring and all this shit. Like, who cares? These people are crazy and they're retarded and they don't have any arguments, and like you're probably doing objectively better than they are, right? So it's just like, it's just stupid. Like, I don't know why the he cares about being stalked. Like, if you care about being stalked, stop live streaming or stop saying insane on live stream. Like, this is pretty unhinged from Destiny's part. I agree. I don't condone. I don't condone his leap of logic. But like, I don't know. Like the idea that like you're being stalked by Destiny in his community because they on you is retarded. Come on, dude. And also, you're just wrong and you're lying. And you said something unhinged too. And then somebody says something unhinged back and you like start crying, acting like you're a victim, dude. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Oh, H3 is live right now actually talking about this.
But it is a response to Hasan yesterday stating that Hila, my wife here, my beautiful wife, is a valid military target. Obviously, this was a big story. Lots of people were talking about it. And so we addressed it immediately. So if you want to watch that, I go through my response.
Oh, wait. Oh, this is different. iDubbbz is a stinky, lazy loser and has no friends. Okay, wait. He just posted a video. We'll check this video out then. Okay, we'll check this out instead.
Sunday afternoon, I'm relaxing with my family. And I get a text from a friend with a link to a video in it. And it's a video of my good old friend, Hasan Piker, claiming that my wife, Hila, would be a valid military target. Let's take a look.
DFLP, PFLP, or even former Fatah militants, okay? It is perfectly legal, perfectly valid, and perfectly moral, okay? 100%. This is not like this is not a gray area. This is black and white, okay? It doesn't get more black and white than this. Israel's in the wrong. Israel is actually engaging in an apartheid, which is a crime in and of itself. Israel's doing a genocide in Gaza and an apartheid in the West Bank. 2 crimes in and of itself. And every type of armed resistance against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank. Doesn't matter if it's your favorite podcasters like wife that participate in these raids. Doesn't matter if
So Hasan has been trying to claim that he meant only people during the raid would be legit to exact violence on it. But even if it's true that that's what he meant, why is he making it sound like she escaped justice? Wouldn't that justify a form of justice catching up to her, right?
Yeah,
something
true.
she has coming. Right.
Yeah. Also, like I said before, is that some people would probably just say that anyone who ever served in the IDF or ever was even Israeli would deserve some form of consequences. If you were ever a settler and you don't like denounce it or like anything like that, like if you actively served in the IDF in any capacity, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, like you would probably say the same for like the SS, right? Like even if you were part of the SS at any point, you deserve to be game ended, right? Like it's like the same line of thinking, right?
Why even include a specific person who hasn't served in the military in 20 years? Why does he mix up past and present tense while he's discussing this? You know, is this a responsible use of his words and his platform? Don't you think that even if what you're saying is true and you meant only people on that raid would deserve violence, that invoking a specific person is really appropriate and true? And doesn't that have the risk?
It's, once again, like I was saying, it's just totally out of nowhere. Like, it's like, why are you just evoking her name for no reason at all? It's so weird.
For provoking the craziest people in your audience to think that maybe it would be a good idea to kill my wife, right? Like, what are we talking about, dude? And also, Hila was a secretary, okay? Him and all of his friends here, they're trying to invoke the image that Hila was somehow some commando that was constantly going into raids and kidnapping people in their sleep. She was not in a combat role. She was a secretary. She never fired a bullet outside of basic training, okay? And Hila is what these people always dream about. She's an Israeli Jew that left Israel. She's an American citizen of 15 years now, a mother of 3. This is the idea of the perfect Israeli, one that leaves. Despite all that, Hasan is suggesting that it would be a moral victory for someone to murder her. This is actually the 4th or 5th time someone has directly called for violence against me or Hila on Twitch since October 7th. And so far, none of these people have been punished for making these threats. And I don't expect Hasan to meet any repercussions for this either, right? And Hasan himself has a troubling history of calling for political violence. Here is the infamous tweet he made to Tom Cotton, a sitting congressperson. And no matter what you think about Tom Cotton, what Hasan tweeted is mad. This is the gun that a vigilante used to assassinate Shinzo Abe, former prime minister of Japan. This is the schematics, the exact gun he used to assassinate this guy. So, I mean, he is directly suggesting that somebody make this gun and start killing politicians. There's no other way to interpret this. But nothing seemed to really happen from that. This is his most recent one where he's saying someone should kill Rick Scott.
There's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid, just in fraud alone.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. Okay, you wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott. You wouldn't make him a prominent part of the Republican Party.
There's about 50.
So this is once again Hasan referring to a sitting congressperson looking straight into the camera and saying, "Kill Rick Scott." Of course, he'll explain it as Rick Scott committed some Medicare fraud and yada yada yada. But again, he has a massive platform and a responsibility to choose his words carefully. He can't be doing this and then also claim that he's a
this is like the thing is that ultimately you have a of people watching you. And like I said, anyone who spent a good amount of time on the internet, especially from the perspective of like posting videos or posting content and getting comments and getting a lot of different people passing through your platforms, you learn very quickly there are some insane unhinged people. I remember like one of the first people I ever saw in my comment section was like this like black guy that thought he was like a vampire and shit. It was crazy. He thought he was a vampire. He posted these videos talking about like it was like insane. It was crazy. And he was like in my comment section, he was talking about like, I know about your forum history. And I'd never used any forums in my life. I had like a Reddit account that I barely even touched. And he was like talking about like, I know what you get. I'm gonna expose you. It's like, dude, but that's just like, and that's like not even like a very dangerous person. You can find some very dangerous, violent, insane people very easily on the internet. And it is like, I can't overstate how irresponsible it is to say like this. Even if they deserve to be killed, right? You shouldn't like, you should be careful.
Against political violence. It's just not what he's exhibiting. And once again, there was a recent example of him sitting next to the great Taylor Lorenz, laughing about how an official was forced to resign after receiving death threats. He's applauding it. Go ahead.
874 Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning. Like he's literally, this is his last term. So I think that people are a lot more.
By the way, this is the same guy that was crying when Sam Hyde made a joke about like coming to his house and killing him. He's like, "Does it actual threaten to like come to my house and kill me?" And then he's like saying those like, "Yeah, hell yeah, this is base though."
Now, this is an unprecedented time to really get others on board. To explain to them that it's not your neighbors, it's not like a Guatemalan migrant that is responsible for all the that you're going through on a daily basis, not trans person. I think this is a unique opportunity to get even Devers and Barbas on board with that, like White Wymons. And you actually wrote about this, and it was a great video where you talked about, someone has to do it. See, when I say that, everyone knows exactly what I mean. That which is, I think that shows that there's a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, and untapped potential, untapped revolutionary potential, as a matter of fact. And it's a great opportunity for organizing, I think, in these unprecedentedly horrible times.
So when he says someone has to do it, he's referring, of course, to the act of assassinating the president. Now, I hate Trump as much as any other lib, but I do not want anybody to kill the president. I don't think that would help. I think that would probably not help. But that's the point. That's what he doesn't want it to help. He wants America to, so he can.
Yes, he wants America to crumble. That's all he cares about. That's his only agenda, is for America to literally crumble, dude. And don't let him trick you otherwise.
Usher in this revolutionary period. Do you guys know what stochastic terrorism is? You hear this term thrown around a lot, but let me define it for you. Stochastic terrorism refers to the
Hasan is probably the most powerful stochastic terrorist on the internet, actually. Out of like in terms of like how much he does, he is like insane. Like he is easily the most dangerous stochastic terrorist on the internet right now.
Inciting rhetoric, often vague or coded by an influential figure to provoke violence from a predisposed individual or group, with the perpetrator able to plausibly deny responsibility for the resulting violence. It is a form of political violence where the instigator's actions are not a direct call to violence, but rather a calculated use of language that is statistically likely to incite violence in a suspected individual. This is, when I read this, it kind of blew my mind, because this describes to a exact T the kind of language, the pattern of language we're seeing Hasan deploying. This is it, In his own words, by the way, and very ironically, Hasan said this to me when I was on his podcast.
I think he is a narcissist. I mean, when you watch that video, the narcissism rage at CoffeeZilla was insane, because his video was it's posturing, man. If you're going to court,
he was so wrong about everything.
Yeah, but listen, if we've learned anything about the court of public opinion, it is deny, deny, deny. If you let on any kind of, I should apologize for this, then the mob, then the horde has something to latch their teeth into. If you go with the Donald Trump school of medicine, no, you're simply wrong. What do you think you see in court? People go, oh, there might be something to that.
Yeah, you deny, you deflect, and then you counterattack the person who like launched this investigation on you, and you try to claim that like there's a hidden bias there. And most lizard brain who like love you unconditionally will go, oh, finally I have an out to defend this person, right?
Now, even when he told me that, I was thinking in my head, like, you've thought a lot about this. I haven't thought about it this, that deep. And if you go back, though, every time Hasan is accused of something, this is exactly what he does. This is his playbook. Never apologize. Always double down. Always accuse your accusers of being hallucinating, crazy, etc. This is exactly his playbook. Since Hasan and many of his friends have employed this violent rhetoric against me and my family, me and Hila rarely leave our houses or make public appearances because of the constant and overwhelming sense of danger. The last 2 years, we've spent more time inside than ever before. And we stopped doing our biannual live shows, right, for over a year because of the fear of violence being enacted not just on us, but on our fans and our crew. This, by the way, is resulting in the crew directly losing money as these live shows, we would donate the entire box office to the crew. And we did this twice a year. It was a significant source of revenue for them that's now been shut off out of fear. We've been forced to hire a full-time guard at the office because everyone in the office was feeling unsafe. And me and Hila are both waiting for our concealed carry license so that we can finally feel safe in public again, which is not easy to get in California, and it's going to take like over a year probably. And I usually choose not to talk about this stuff because the provocateurs who will revel in it, because this is their goal, right? They want me to be afraid. They want me to be in my house. They want me to avoid doing public events. They want me to cower. So this is very much giving them what they want. However, in this moment, I do feel the entire context of how language like this affects me and my family and my crew and everybody around me. Twitch has served as the most prolific source of leftist radicalization, terrorist propaganda, and anti-West sentiment. They foster, they elevate, they protect the most dangerous and inflammatory voices. And it's obvious to anyone paying attention that Twitch is being run by ideologues that agree with Hasan. And it's obvious to anyone who's paying attention, they use the terms of service as a form of political activism by harshly punishing people that they're opposed to and granting near total impunity to their allies like Hasan. The CEO has even stated on record that Hasan is his favorite streamer. In the past, there's been a coordinated pressure campaign against
Yeah, that's also like an insane conflict of interest as well. I don't know why he would ever admit that, because now it just seems like really, like I can't trust in good faith that your decision to not suspend him or give him repercussions is based on anything aside from the fact that not only is he a massive cash cow for your site, but also the fact that, I mean, like you like watching him, you like him as a person, right?
Twitch advertisers.
And you're ideologically aligned
but the
with
entire
him.
Twitch executive team remains protected, despite the head of inclusive marketing. The head of inclusive marketing once tweeting out, "What is the difference between a Boy Scout and a Jewish kid?" And I'll give you a hint as to the answer. It's only one returns from camp. What's the difference between a Boy Scout and a Jewish kid? Only one returns from camp. The head of inclusive marketing at Twitch. Now, this person, as far as I'm aware, has faced zero administrative correction and continues to this day to hold her position as head of inclusive marketing at Twitch. The irony is so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Now, while some sponsors have no doubt left, there's still enough remaining that Amazon has not been forced to intervene. And I would encourage anyone using Twitch to contact advisors as soon as they're served to you. If you use Twitch, if you're watching, when you get an ad, write them and say, "Hey, I would like to know why you're spending directly your dollars to support violent extremism. Why are you supporting a platform that..."
I just don't know if this is going to work, to be honest. Like, this has been, like, this whole thing has been happening for a while with the advertisers, like reaching out to advertisers and stuff. It's been happening for a while. I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, I don't know. I mean, and it's also just tricky too, because I feel like we've always, like, as a community on YouTube, have always kind of been against going after sponsors, but also I wonder if this is like potentially different or warrants it or whatever. I don't even know how to feel about this, but yeah, I mean,
sanctions, protects, safeguards, encourage, promotes language like what Hasan just deployed against Hila, and show them that. Why is Hasan on the homepage every day? Every day when I go there. Why? I want to give a shout out to AT&T, by the way, who recently has been telling people that they sponsor on Twitch that Hasan's not allowed.
Why aren't you doing the streamer games? AT&T is part of the sponsors, and AT&T doesn't with me. It is what it is. Why?
So they asked Ludwig, Hasan's friend, who, by the way, who very bravely was like, "Hey, listen, buddy, you can't be in my videos anymore. I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to openly support you and you know, encourage you. My girlfriend's going to do a podcast with you, et cetera, et cetera." But AT&T, they're crazy. They don't want you in any of our videos. You know, shout out to AT&T. Let's see more of this and less of Hasan in these videos. I'm encouraging you guys to pressure advertisers.
It is crazy how much he has been able to get away with, though, and despite of that, like, because I actually do wonder, like, if the AT&T, that was only brought up because Ludwig's event was sponsored by AT&T and people were asking why he wasn't there. I wonder how many other organizations have directly decided that they cannot work with anything involving him.
Amazon pressure Twitch as a last resort. This is a plea for sanity, that something be done before it's too late. On behalf of myself, my wife, my children, my crew, all whose safety has been compromised, to please help us stop this. This is madness. Thank you.
Damn, that's crazy. Holy. Yeah, I don't know, like, what is the limit? Because here's the thing. It's not just, like, this one instance either with Hasan. It's, like, it's so many different things compounded over such a short amount of time. It really just, yeah, it's just, I don't know how much longer he can get away with it. It's not just this one thing. It's all the other shit that's happened in the last month and 2 months. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much longer it is until somebody finally does something and like he gets banned or he gets, I don't even know. Apparently he doesn't get ads on Twitch right now because he's been held accountable so much. But I don't know at what point does it not become worth it for Twitch? Or at what point does Twitch decide to that this has to stop? Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.